Hello, gremlins! I am a huge fan of frogs. Shocking, I know. I've sewn over a dozen beanbag frogs, I've painted multiple frog t-shirts and made even more frog-themed pieces of jewelry, and I doodle frogs all the time, including turning them spooky for Halloween 2 years in a row. Yet despite all that, somehow it's taken me this long to turn various species of frogs into humanoid characters. I've already done a similar thing with mushrooms, turning various interesting-looking mushroom species into fairy characters, which you can watch on the playlist linked in the cards. The first frog I'm turning into a character today is the red-eyed tree frog, which is probably the most recognizable species of frog. The red-eyed tree frog, scientific name Agalichnus calidrius, is native to the wet, tropical forests of Central and Northwestern South America. It has very bright, recognizable coloring. Most of the red-eyed tree frog is a bright shade of green, with a pale underbelly, orange feet, intensely red eyes, and blue and yellow patterns on its sides and upper legs. Unlike other brightly colored frogs, this frog's bright coloring isn't a warning of poison. Instead, the bright green acts as camouflage when the frog is sleeping during the day on bright tropical leaves. When asleep, the frog's coloring is hidden under all the green, and its eyes are closed with a type of eyelid that allows it to still see light and rouse when predators approach. When predators approach, the frog's coloring acts as defense. Suddenly opening its eyes and revealing its coloring can startle predators, giving the red-eyed tree frog time to escape. This defense mechanism is called flash coloration. Red-eyed tree frogs are arboreal, living in trees above and near water, since they reproduce using water. Their toes have suction cups allowing them to stick to leaves where they sleep and spend their time. They are nocturnal, sleeping during the day and hunting for insects at night. They also occasionally eat smaller amphibians. Male red-eyed tree frogs are smaller than females. Usually males are 2 inches or 5 centimeters, while females are 3 inches or 7.6 centimeters long. Red-eyed tree frogs lay their eggs on the leaves above water, where the tadpoles can hatch and fall down into water to finish maturing. Usually, eggs take 6 to 10 days to hatch, however they have an interesting ability. A lot of predators prey on the eggs, and the embryos can sense vibrations and force an early hatching as a risky escape if needed. In normal circumstances, embryos use the day-night light cycle to tell them when to hatch, hatching just after nightfall. Red-eyed tree frogs aren't specifically endangered, but they are still at risk, as many rainforest species are, from deforestation and climate change, as well as from invasive species. I had a lot of fun designing the look for a red-eyed tree frog-inspired character. I made her tall and long-limbed, since this species of frog has very long legs and a thin body. She has large round glasses with bright red lenses to mimic the tree frog's giant red eyes. I had some trouble with her arm poses. Originally, I wanted to have her hand on her hip, but despite how many times I tried drawing this pose, I did not succeed. After drawing and erasing her arm far too many times, I gave up and instead put her hand in her hoodie pocket. I gave this character a few pieces of jewelry inspired by elements of the tree frog. Her statement necklace is a red, eye-shaped pendant, and she also has a string of red beads around her neck. Her earring is orange and shaped like a frog foot, and she has a bunch of gold piercings in her ear that aren't based on any part of the frog, they're just something I wanted her to wear. Her snakebite facial piercings are also just there for the aesthetic of it. Her leggings are asymmetrical, both inspired by the patterns on the red-eyed tree frog's sides. One leg is striped with thin yellow stripes against turquoise blue. The other leg has an oval polka dot pattern. I tried to keep the coloring to the same places on this character as they are on the frog. She's wearing orange Converse high tops inspired by the orange feet on the frog, as well as orange fingerless gloves, although her hands aren't very visible in this pose. Her hoodie is the same color as the bright green back of the tree frog, and coloring it instantly makes this character look like the frog. It's such a recognizable color, at least in my opinion. Her skirt is the same hue of green, but a darker shade to differentiate it from the hoodie. The skirt is pleated. In my sketch I was thinking of putting her in shorts, but while shorts over tights is a look, it wasn't working for her, so I made it a skirt instead. Her shirt is just plain white, although slightly red tinted as I color picked it from my reference photo, to match the underbelly of the tree frog. This character's hair is really cool in my opinion. It's shaved on one side, short and wavy on the other. Her shaved side was originally colored blonde, a darker shade of the frog's underbelly, but I changed it to dark brown since I decided this character should be Latina, as the frog is native to Central America. The longer side of her hair is dyed with streaks of blue and green. When coloring her skin and face, I hid the layer containing her red glasses, so I can more easily see her features. Her skin is light brown, her eyes dark brown, although their color isn't very visible through her lenses. I wasn't sure what to do with the background at first. All I knew is I didn't want to draw a scene. I wanted these frog videos, yes, I do plan on making this a series, to be quicker to draw, to balance the multiple drawings in the videos as well as the longer time spent researching. By the time I finish this drawing, the background is a flat shade of green with a black vignette around the edges and a white outline around the character's silhouette. While shading the skin, I added a separate shading layer to add red shadows from where the light passed through the sunglass lenses on this character's cheeks around her eyes. I think the shadows on this character's hoodie especially turned out like how I wanted it to. I think I rendered out the kind of wrinkles that appear on tight sleeves pretty well. The shadow layer is greenish blue. It really pops against the light green. The shadows on the skirt worked a little less well. They were working fine until I wanted to add some extra shadows to the middle pleat and made it no longer look like it fits with the rest of the pleats. I might fix that eventually. I finished this drawing by tweaking the background some more until I landed on the aforementioned simple green background. Red-eyed tree frogs aren't my favorite frogs as far as looks, but they have such an iconic appearance, and I think I really captured that appearance with this character. I'm so happy with her look, and I can really see the red-eyed tree frog in her outfit. The next frog I covered in this video is a frog that is very popular online because of its look, its sound, and its sleepy vibe. This is the desert rain frog. The desert rain frog is also called the web-footed rain frog, the Bollinger's short-headed frog, and its scientific name, Breviceps macrops. This frog is found in Namibia and South Africa, in a 10-kilometer strip of land between the desert sand dunes and the sea. To clarify, the strip of land is 10 kilometers wide, it is much longer. This area is extremely dry, with no surface water and around 6 centimeters of precipitation a year, most of that in the form of fog. Unlike most frogs, the desert rain frog does not rely on water for its life cycle. They do not have a tadpole stage in development, instead hatching as froglets, which appear to just be smaller adults. The desert rain frog survives by burying itself underground during the day. These burrows are 10 to 20 centimeters deep, where the sand is damp, and the desert rain frog can absorb that moisture through its skin to survive. The rain frog emerges from its burrow at night to hunt moths, beetles, insect larvae, and ants on the sand dunes. Unlike many species of frog, the desert rain frog does not hop. It walks around on the sand dunes, often leaving tiny footprints in the sand. The desert rain frog is 1.5 to 2 inches, or 3.8 to 5 centimeters, roughly the size of a ping pong ball. It is very round, with large bulging eyes, a short face, and spade-like feet at the end of short legs, good for digging. This frog is mottled brown in color and often covered in sand. The desert rain frog has gained some viral internet fame from the sound they make, as well as their cute round appearance. The frog has a high-pitched squeak that sounds a lot like a dog toy. I'm not putting the video of this frog making that noise in my video, since I do not know the rules around using outside videos on YouTube and don't want to get copyrighted, but I've linked the video here and I highly recommend you watch it if you haven't already. The desert rain frog is unfortunately threatened due to its habitat being damaged by diamond mining as well as tourism. The range is small already without being encroached on by humans. I knew from the beginning that I wanted my desert rain frog character to be plump and sleepy. There's another clip of a desert rain frog I've seen online, and I'm also linking for your enjoyment, that includes a pet frog yawning and rubbing its face. I wanted to have my human character in the same pose. Once again, I had trouble with the hand/arm pose, specifically the hand rubbing his face. I kept redrawing the fingers to try and make the hand look natural, and eventually took a photo of myself doing the same pose to figure out what I was doing. I gave this character very comfortable clothing, since those match the sleepy vibe of these frogs. They aren't very desert appropriate, except perhaps at night when the desert gets cold. He's in baggy pants and a pullover hoodie. The hoodie has sections of boldly patterned African fabric to tie into the rain frog's homeland in southern Africa. I googled Namibian fabrics on Google Images, and while I didn't copy any particular fabric, the pattern of circles matches a lot of the geometric patterns I saw. I don't know if hoodies with sections of fabric like this are a thing in Namibia or South Africa, but I know that they are a thing in Kenya, which is in East Africa, since I own one and grew up there. Usually both African fabrics and these hoodies are brightly colored, but there aren't any bright colors in the desert rain frog, so his clothing is various shades of brown. The patterns are bold, the colors aren't. The circles on this hoodie are a couple of shades of yellow, on a dark brown background. It took a while to color all the tiny dots ringing around the circles I drew. The rest of the hoodie got recolored a few times and ended up being a light shade of brown. For a while, I added a mottled pattern of brown and tan to this character's pants, but I didn't keep this design choice. I probably should have made this less blurry or more like a camouflage pattern, since it really didn't look like it belonged in this drawing. And a little while later in the drawing I went back and made the pants plain tan in color. His shoes are boots, leather, and hopefully practical for the desert sand. This character's hair is short, black, and curly, and I made him African since the frog is from Africa. This drawing became almost entirely monotone, even the background, since I made it the same color as the sand in my reference image. However, I think there is enough contrast from the dark and light brown to make the monotone okay. When I finished the background, which took about a minute, I went back to the pants and started trying to fix what I'd done. I tried to just use the sharpen tool to make the mottled pattern less blurry, but the tool wasn't powerful enough for that, and just made it noisy and pixelated, and took forever to load. I then just gave up and made the pants solid colored brown. I once again used my texture brush for this character's curly hair, which I think worked out really well. The rest of the shading went smoothly. I'm quite proud of how the hoodie turned out, and the pants are unremarkable. Compared to the red-eyed tree frog character, this character isn't nearly as bright or unique, but I'm really happy with his design. His hoodie is awesome, I like his pose, and how it ties into a video of the desert rain frog I love. I'm really happy with both these characters, although I definitely think the red-eyed tree frog character's bold look is my favorite. Let me know in the comments which character you prefer, what frogs you think would make cool characters, or any ideas for names for these characters. Thanks for watching, and if you like frogs, check out my Etsy store where I have 2 different hand-painted shirts with frog graphics on them. Until next time, bye! The red-eyed tree frog, scientific name... Oh, Jesus. The red-eyed tree frog, scientific name Agalichnus...
Agalichnus calidrias. Agalichnus calidrias.
I'll wait for you to sit down somewhere so that you're not making noise. I'm gonna end up putting you in the blooper section at the end.